This is a self-evaluation of our horror trailer, Till Death Do Us Part. I will be watching it and reacting to it while recording this. Okay, so the first shot that we have is ARR Productions Presents, which is the company that our group used for our film opening last year, so we decided to keep continuity and use it again for our horror trailer. The opening shot is of the kind of forest, so I guess it's a pseudo-establishing shot, since it's not really showing the whole kind of location that we used, but showing the forest that we find the characters, and that they find the antagonist later on. And it's timed to this kind of like dollhouse, ballerina style music box soundtrack that we found, which fits the whole motif running throughout and has a very like slow, controlled, yet very kind of sinister feel to it. It sounds like it's almost one key off, so it's very kind of a false plateau of security, so that you see the characters on the screen in a minute, and then you kind of hear the music and you think, oh, it doesn't really match up, but it kind of works at the same time. So we used a lot of kind of like teasing shots of, so you see the veil, the roses, the kind of thorns, so there's something here, a kind of like substantial character almost, but we don't see it yet. She's faceless. There's mystery and suspense kind of leading up to her and what we see of her, which we wanted to create through kind of like teasing this build almost. So we knew that in most trailers there was a light to darkness, and this is our light scene. So we filmed in the daytime leading up to this, and then the nighttime to kind of contrast the two and show there was a narrative here. There was A to Z, a start and an end to the film. Even though it's just a trailer and we didn't film the whole thing, we wanted to show that we could demonstrate the whole kind of film. So more kind of music box scenes, more teasing of the doll. Okay, so this is where the two characters kind of fall into the interaction between them and the antagonist. And the music ends so that as she lifts the veil, something else happens. So as the music ends, it's kind of supposed to symbolize the end of kind of peace almost. So it's significantly long, this period of time with no music, and it almost feels awkward, like something's supposed to be there but isn't. And we definitely wanted to mark the moment with this entrance of the doll, and we thought that no sound would definitely kind of make it seem even more sinister and kind of wrong, like there was something wrong, and this creating this like gut sense of dread that was about to happen. And as she lifts the veil, it gets really, really loud. So the scream that we introduced leads into this new soundtrack, and we open with a very close shot of the doll through the veil, and the veil is supposed to be almost protective of her and then our characters, so that it shows that there's a wall between them, they don't understand each other, there's this kind of like conflict, this tension, and then the scream leads into this kind of soundtrack, which is different from the music box, but almost still kind of reminiscent of it, so that it's very 80s style horror. But there are still kind of elements of it that link back almost. So that the sounds kind of used, the sharp kind of echoes, The tarot cards we used to kind of portray almost a set in stone prophecy. We kind of laid out the cards to show this narration of this is the death card. There's different shots of these cards that we wanted to include, but since it was kind of happening so quickly, it kind of gets lost in the process of the shot, of kind of like the movement. So all the different cards do mean something, they do kind of add to the story, but since it's so quick, it kind of gets lost in the moment. And then this scene is pulling backwards, showing that she's being tormented by the doll, but it's reversed, so that it looks extra creepy with kind of like her hair flowing about, almost like its own entity. I Do, which was originally the name of the film, but we decided to keep this in, and the handprint in Fake Blood, to link to this theme of marriage, but also, as it's written in blood, it kind of connotes these very dark, almost mysterious undertones of something very, very wrong. And it kind of does also foreshadow a rift between my character and Ria's character, which is we just saw here. So there's this element of I do, someone's accepting something, and it's almost like it's a blood pact, so it's being accepted, but also in a very, very wrong kind of way, like a wrong message being sent almost. And again with this character, she's wearing a shirt that says I do, and it's plain white, and it's written in red, in blood, in fake blood. And it connotes the kind of same thing, and so there's this running marriage, unity kind of theme, but it's very twisted. So we see blood again on the doll, and we played a lot. So yeah, we see blood again on the doll. We played a lot with like shadows and different kind of angles. We wanted to lead up definitely to something as the music reaches a kind of crescendo. So they walk into shadow, and then there's that scene. So we struggled a lot to kind of build this and reach a certain point. And we kind of analyzed different horror movies and tried to kind of emulate what they did as the trailer was reaching a conclusion. I think the new It 2017 horror movie really kind of helped us cement what we wanted to do and our vision for this closer and closer kind of creepy aspect. And then a very quick and sharp kind of cut off. And it features the character that we saw before wearing the I Do shirt, and then it quickly switches to the doll. She kind of jumps at the screen and then fades to black. And you can't see it very well because of the screen recording, but this is, see if I can move it, this is the character that we saw before that we're keeping kind of mysterious and under wraps, and she's rocking the doll and there's blood on her face and on her shirt, and then she lifts the veil, and then there's the music box kind of music again, and it fades. So there's the running theme of the music box to kind of link the trailer together. There's the credits, the end title, and the final scare, which is supposed to be the character again. So yeah, that was our horror trailer.